All right, let's start in chapter 5. Begin with our vocabulary, and we'll say this out loud. I think it's going to happen for some reason. Okay, oh, there it is. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's on the board. Also, it's in your book. Agathos, agathe, agathon, good, noble. Okay? Agath is just an example, a good one. Agathos, notice where the emphasis is. Agathos, agathe, agathon, good and noble. That's an adjective. We'll talk about adjectives tonight. Hagios, hagia, hagion, holy, consecrated. Okay?
And between the and the on, is that in particular order? Or is it in order?
Yeah, masculine, feminine, neuter, right across. And if you read the chapter, you already know that adjectives have all the forms, and the reason why they have all the forms, that is masculine, feminine, neuter, all the cases, because they must agree in case, gender, and number with the nouns they go with. So you got to have all the options. You don't have all the forms look alike, but you can identify it as being a masculine, a feminine, a neuter, and whatever case it is. Gar is a postpositive, which means it occurs second in the clause. Means for. Dikaios, dikai, dikaion, righteous or just. Eskate, eschaton, last. That's where you get the word eschatology, last study of last things. Kakos, kakay, kakon, bad or evil. Cacophony. Kalos, kalei, kalon, good or beautiful. Kaleidoscope, and those are really pretty when you look through them. Yeah. Lambano means to take or receive, where you get the word epilepsy. Mikros, mikra, mikron, small or little, micro. You familiar with that? A lot of Greek words serve as the basis of English words. And if you add Latin in, if you know Latin and English, you got both the English language. Necros, necra, necron, dead, necromancy. Ha-he-ta, that's the article. That's the lexical form of the article. Notice we're not giving any genitives here. Why? These are not nouns. The lexical form of an adjective is, as we're looking at it, there is no article. And the lexical form of the article, ha-he-ta, is exactly ha-he-ta. Pistos, pistay, piston, it's faithful or believing. Oranos, or renewed, ha, heaven or sky. And thus you get a noun. Oranos, or renewed, ha, heaven or sky. Uh-oh. That's a mistake. That mistake happens because I'm sometimes getting it mixed up and I'm pushing the wrong thing on the keyboard as I'm trying to type this stuff in. I'll straighten that real quick where you have it, right?
I think.
Well,
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
What's wrong?
You added heaven. Uranos was added.
There's an extra sigma.
Extra sigma and eschatos.
What are you talking about?
Eschatos.
There's an extra sigma?
Eschatos.
Oh, eschatos.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't mind being corrected. Paneros. Paneros, panera, panera. Okay, good.
And heaven's not in this chapter.
It's not in
It's
the
in the
chapter.
last
Or this lesson.
Oh, is this in the last? What about paneros?
Yeah, that's it.
So heaven's not supposed to be here. Hey, God doesn't want heaven. Okay.
It's
there
in
you
the
go.
last four.
The new verb,
Uh-huh.
paneros.
What's
The
wrong?
new is still after. Paneros.
The new for Paneros.
Instead of pa-e-ros.
How about that? What I had hit was the V on the keyboard It's the accent.
Oh,
But it's where the fingers are. If the left finger comes down and the right finger comes down, and I pushed it with the left to the right, when I'm typing in Greek here. Let's say I have some skills I need better than I have. Okay, back to fun games.
Are you typing that on a particular Greek program?
Just typing inside the PowerPoint. Yeah. Okay, that pretty well gets that, doesn't it? What do we lack? Protos, prote, proton, which is first, and you can understand where protos comes from. Proton, first. Okay. Okay, let's look at our Greek pronunciation. We will do our reading out loud, the Greek. Okay, ready? 1 John 2:7. Agapatoi, uk, entelein, kainain, grapho, humin, al, entelein, palas, palai, hain, echete, ap, arches, he, entele, he, palai, estin, ha, lagos, han, ekusate, pollen, entelein, kainain, grapho, humin, ha, estin, alethes, en, alto, kai, en, humin, hati, he, skatia, paragatai, kai, taphos, ta alethinon, actually alethinon, heyday. That's should be we look at it. Oh, that's A day, isn't it?
no.
Yeah, it's easier to read up here than it is on my screen. Turn around. A day, fine, ha, legon, ento, photi, enai, kai, ton, adelphon, altu, neson, ente, skatia, estin, hepos, arti, ha, agapon, ton, adelphon, altu, ento, photi, me, kai, scapulon, en alto, uk, estin, hade, neson, ton, adelphon, altu, ente, skatia, estin, kai, ente, skatia, peripate, kai, uk, oilen, hu, upage, hati, he, skatia, etuflosen, etuflosen, Tus, aphthalmos, altu. Good. Well, that's just out of 1 John 2. Now, if you had a Greek Testament, you could read it the same way. We'll just continue reading this. That it's good to hear the Greek, and your pronunciation, hopefully, will help it. And then when we get to translation someday in the future, you'll be actually translating it, not just reading the words. That'll be fun. So let's work on the definite article first. If you'll notice, the definite article is made up of masculine, feminine, and neuter. In that respect, it's similar to an adjective, translated the. In Greek, there is no a or an. There is no indefinite article. So, it's sort of funny because generally speaking, when we do declensions, we go down. We go, anthropos, anthropu, anthropo, like that. As, u, o, an, e. When you move adjectives, usually you move across. Kalas, kale, kalan. Kalu, kale, kala. The reason why is because of the fact that it has 3 across, and it's usually easier to do that way. So they usually use the articles the same way. If you want to go ha, tu, to, tan, I don't care. Hey, he taste te tain, ta tu to ta. You can go ha he ta, tu taste tu, to te to, tan te ta. However you feel best to do it. But I don't know if there's any good way or bad way. It's just what you do. But the thing you need to recognize is that you're going to have all your cases and all your genders expressed in the article, just like you do in the adjective, because it's got to be able to agree with a noun in one of these options. Always.
When you're, just by looking at the exercise, it seemed to me like they fit together in sequence. Is that always true when you're reading through a text, though?
What is
Okay,
the
if you-
sequence?
The definite article and the word that's attributed to, or can they be separate?
It will be separate sometimes. It will oftentimes be together, sometimes it will be separate. Like sometimes you may have the article here, you may have the noun that it goes with on the other end, and you may have a surrounding idea. I mean, you sort of surround, like if you said, the of God's Son, the Son of God, you might have this, the of Son God. The of God's Son. Sometimes you sort of surround the clause you're working with in Greek.
Still a genitive idea.
Yeah, but the genitive is clear. I mean, you won't have any trouble with it. But yeah, you can't always depend on having the article and the noun go together. And you can always depend on, according to what kind it is, you cannot always expect the adjective and the noun to be together. Depends on what's going on. But you won't have that issue because you're looking for something that agrees in case, gender, number. And you won't have that many options to work with. And remember, unless you have a conjunction chi joining two clauses, or two equal coordinated clauses, you're always going to have your verbs and your stuff tucked in to the clauses that they're in. It's not as though the Greek words just scatter out everywhere. They'll stay within thoughts, within categories of thought, within clauses. But here, let's just do it the way you have been doing, I guess. Hatu totan is the nominative, genitive, dative, accusative. Notice you do not have a vocative. Why?
Because when you address someone, you don't use.
Yeah, you don't say, if I use your name Adam, I don't say, the Adam? you don't use that. The article doesn't go that way. I'm sorry, you want to say something?
I say, but you may call me the
I
Adam.
can call you the Adam from now. Yeah. All right, I'll do that. You'll be wanting me not to after that.
In the genitive, the singular neuter and the plural neuter are the same. Is there ever a time when we'll be able to? Will the adjective or the word that the article
In the genitive?
Yeah, genitive neuter singular and genitive plural singular, or genitive plural.
That's a
neuter?
mistake then. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. There should be two.
Should there be two? Okay.
Yeah, look in your book.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, that's wrong. There we
Okay.
go. Good thing. Just one of those typing things.
Sure.
All right.
Just keep getting harder.
Okay, so hatu totan, that looks good. He taste te tain, tatu to ta. That's all that's good. Notice tone. And then tois, tis, tois, that's pretty obvious. Notice that iota tends to be in the dative, whether it's a subscript or not a subscript. You tend to see that iota in the dative. It helps you to figure it out. Tante ta, tus tas ta. Now there'll be some points sometimes to try to figure out whether something is a nominative or accusative, won't you? For sure, you will. But it becomes obvious in context. I say that, and you don't have the experience yet, but I never really had much of a trouble on this. It's pretty obvious. There's other keys that tell you these things.
They wouldn't have made the language that way if it wasn't.
So, anyway. Now, look at the syntax of the article. Oh, by the way, if you do learn the article here, you pretty well figured out most of your basic forms. The syntax of the article in Greek is similar in many ways to that of English. Yeah, there are a few times. There are so many options. You can pick up Dan Wallace's Advanced Grammar that I use in Intermediate Greek, and you start looking, he's got page after page. There must be 20 different uses of the article. The article is used a lot of ways in Greek, but there are some similarities with English. Biblical Greek sometimes uses a definite article with proper names, like ha Jesus, you know, Jesus. It won't have just Jesus, it will have really the Jesus, but not as a noun of address, but as a subject. Ha Jesus. Ha Palos, and so forth. For example, one frequently finds the article with Jesus in the Gospels occasionally with Moses and David in the Septuagint. In such cases, the article is not translated. We don't do that in English. You don't translate somebody's name that way. 2, abstract nouns such as life, love, peace, and truth often have the article in Greek where they would not have in English. For example, the word of truth might be written halagos tes aletheos. And you want to say the word of the truth, but it's just truth as an abstract concept. And he's accurate here. This does occur this way. 3, sometimes Greek uses the article with monadic nouns where English would omit it. Monadic nouns refer to things for which there is generally thought to be only one corresponding reality. Thus, the Lord of heaven and earth might be written ha kurios tu orenu kai tes ges, the Lord of the heaven and the earth. That is something that there's no options for. I mean, there's not other heavens and earth. That's just it. But neither Greek nor English is entirely consistent with this point. And there are a lot of other uses of the Greek article, as I've already said. Now, he does mention something here about the question of what he calls proclitic. We're going to see enclitics and proclitics later. I guess we'll read this. Most forms of the article are similar to the corresponding forms of first and second declension nouns. You've already seen that. Right? You guys have been memorizing as, o, on, as, so forth. Am I telling the truth here? You guys are doing this? And you know the feminine also. You're learning those. Note, however, the nominative singular and accusative singular forms of the neuter do not end in nu. Ta, omicron, and ta, alpha sound the same, don't they? But we're talking about an omicron versus an alpha, but they don't have the nu on either one. Do not end in nu as a corresponding form of the neuter noun. For example, ergon. 4 other forms of the article require comment. So you expect to have ton ergon, don't you? And you do as a masculine, but not as a neuter. The masculine and feminine forms of both the nominative singular and nominative plural, ha, he, hoi, hi, are called proclitics. Proclitics are monosyllabic words so closely associated with the following word, they have no accent of their own. So you're expecting accent right on a syllable here at the very end. But you don't have it because it just goes with the following word. Okay, that's pretty simple. Any questions on that? Yes.
Why is there not a vocative in the plural for the adjectives?
There is.
There is. You just look up here. He puts it in
Oh,
V.
in B. Okay.
I think he does it elsewhere too. The vocative, when the vocative and the nominative are the same, he doesn't list it there.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be oi, on, ois, us, oi. Okay, any questions on the articles though? When do you translate it? When don't you? When it makes English sense. I mean, the problem with translation is that sometimes when I become more literal with translation, I can be so literal that I confuse people in English because there's no English counterpart. The other danger is when you take liberty with the text and do not bring over legitimate literal translation. when you decide to paraphrase and say what you think the passage is talking about theologically. That's not your job. Theology is left after translation, not before. So, there's errors on both ways. To become so literal that you become wooden and don't even make English sense. The other is to become so paraphrastic that you leave the wording of the text. We're working toward the middle. Questions? 29. First and second declension adjectives. And the forms here, if I did them right, type this Greek out sometimes when I look at it here on the screen, it's much clearer for me to understand. Let's see if we got them all right. Yeah, seems like. So kalos, kalu, kalo, kalan, kale. The accent starts on the ultimate and stays there, but changes according to what you have. Genitive and dative obviously go to circumflex. The rest have the acute accent, or it could be grave accent. But that's the word good or beautiful. Kalos, kalu, kalo, kalan, kale. Kale, kales, kale, kale, kale. Kalan, kalu, kalo, kalan, kalan. Kaloi, kalon, kalois, kalus. Kalai, kalon, kalais, kalas. Kala, kalon, kala, kalois, kala. Try to say that fast. I'd like to be able to say it slow. I've been working on it. It's hard to say if you did it really fast. Adjectives of the first and second declension are so named because their feminine forms are declined according to the first declension, and their masculine and neuter forms according to the second declension. Let's look at that. You've already learned the three kinds of feminine forms, right? There's what he calls the pure alpha. I'm called the A class, or the alpha class. He calls the pure eta, I call the eta class. And what he calls the mixed. Okay?
And what do you call
I call it a mixed form. Yeah, mixed class. I don't have any. But you have the forms that are straight, eta, eta sigma, eta iota subscript, eta nu, and so forth. You have the forms of the alpha, alpha sigma, alpha iota subscript, alpha nu. Then you have the ones that are start with alpha, go to eta sigma, eta iota subscript, and then jump back to alpha again. Of course, the plural stays the same.